Today on Hard Way Wrestling, I got a chance to interview Brandon Scott. Now, some of Brandon Scott's accolades are he was an MCW Shamrock Memorial Cup champion. He was an MCW Rage TV champion, a VCW Liberty champion, an AML Prestige champion, and the longest reigning VCW heavyweight champion. You're going to enjoy this interview. I know I did. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Brandon
Very,
Scott.
respectful. If you come up to me and say hi, I love that. So,
Well, again, I never really spoke to you, shook your hand, I'd say hi, in passing or whatever. And then this last Voltage show, I just, you were hanging out by the ring watching. There's Raiders, there's terrible Raiders, and
I got a joke for you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, just cut you off. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ray.
Oh boy, Ray who?
Raiders.
Oh God. So you'll figure out later on. That whole intro I did for you, I completely did not record it. So
so we're gonna have to do it again?
No, we're not doing it again. I'll edit something later on, but at least I got that terrible Raiders joke. Oh, so I saw you watching football, and I was like, I'll just go chat with you, and we chatted for 20 minutes or whatever. And I was like, man, he's such a nice guy. Like, why am I such a pussy? Why didn't I just walk up and say hi to this guy? Like a giddy little girl. So that's basically how. And I've never seen you wrestle, but actually 2 times now because I watched it at the Voltage show. One other time, I just happened to be at a random AEW show, and you were in was it a 6-man or an 8-man against the Dark Order?
6 or 8 man, because I've had like a couple of those. Every time I win, I feel like it's always been against the Dark Order. So I definitely feel like it's been 6 man. I think it was 6 man for sure.
I remember Bo Keller. I remember Bo, but I don't remember the other 2 guys that got the absolute piss kicked out of them. So the Dark Order took care of you.
Yeah, I was lucky enough that they didn't bump me around that much. Thank you to them.
Yeah. So a lot of independent guys. Hopefully, when we get this out there, hopefully we'll answer some questions for some of these independent guys. How do you get involved with WWE, AEW? How do you get involved?
It's about honestly, it's about who you know and how long you've been around the business, and just making those connections and just knowing people. Like once you're established and you make a name for yourself, on the independent scene, they're going to start looking at you, and you have to do the work yourself. You have to reach out, you got to email, you got to call. But a lot of the times, once you get to that point, they're reaching out to you, but like you still got to do the footwork. If you're not hearing from them, you definitely want to reach out and put your name out there and see if there's an opportunity or something that they have available at that time. So like I've just I've been super blessed by all the opportunities that I've been given. The first time I ever went up to WWE was I got in because of Alpha Junior, and it was like a 3-day weekend. It was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday deal. Actually, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday deal. Because they had NXT at the time, so there was no pay-per-views. But I definitely I had that opportunity because of Alpha Junior. I really thank him for that. And then I just go in there and I made the connection, and I became like really good friends with Road Dogg, and he really honestly he really looked out for me because after that time, like from being up there, he kind of he realized that I worked for MCW, and like he was a part of MCW back in the day too. He did a few shows for him, and he always kept up with the product. But he definitely became a fan of mine, and with my baby blues, he really loved those.
Listen, I'm not the only one that notices it.
No, but like I became friends with him, and like started. I would message him on Twitter, like what's the next opportunity? Like how can I get back on these? How can I get more extra work with WWE? And then like. And he was able to help me out with that at that time because he was on the main roster. He was pretty much in charge of SmackDown, and he was at Raw every Raw. So I was lucky to be friends with him, and he definitely he helped me out a lot with getting opportunities there. And then once I proved myself there, like it was always like any time that they were coming to town or they were a few hours away or whatever it was, they would always be hitting me up to come, do some work at WWE and just hoping, that day I would get a spot or a match or whatever it is. You're just so happy to be there, because so many people don't even get to do that,
Yeah.
in our business. So,
I mean, that's like the dream, right? That's, you wrestle for
I mean,
$20
the
and
dream is, to, be back there, but the dream is, to get that contract signed,
yeah.
because, you want to, you want to be there, you want to, do the extra work, but you also don't want to be looked at as that either. So it's kind of like, it goes hand in hand,
So
so.
why do you think that you at this point you haven't signed a contract? Because you're out there, you're everywhere. You're on Broadway, you're doing plays, like you're doing all kinds of stuff.
I don't know, man. It's maybe just something that they're not looking for at this time. I don't know. It just it'll happen when it happens.
Yeah.
I always just I got to be optimistic about it. When it'll happen, and maybe at this time they're just not looking for someone like me, or look, because you never know when you're going to go there, or they're going to call you and be like, "Hey, you're what we're looking for at this time." So
Right.
it can happen that quick.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy. And you wrestled 205 Live too, and that was pumping around for a while.
oh yeah, dude, that was amazing, man. Because that was one of the first matches that like I actually got to show some stuff off, and it still wasn't a long match, but I'm so thankful for Ali for being so gracious, and Adam Pierce being our agent for the match, and like they were both just so I don't know, they were super humble about giving me stuff and making me look good, and it was the week of WrestleMania, which was insane, and I got to wrestle in the Richmond Coliseum like in front of like 15,000 people who like
That's
this
crazy.
just this is a dream, man. It's a
I was
dream.
just in front of 46 the other day.
Were you
I think it might not have been 46. I don't know. It might have been
46 people?
Yeah, well, there were some comps. So I mean, I don't know exactly how
Oh,
many people were there, but no, 15,000 people. That's amazing. And now, when you're in front of 15,000 people, what does that feel like? What is that? I mean, is it hard to concentrate on being, Mr. Excellence?
honestly, like you don't even really realize the people that are around you because it goes so fast. Like you just got to take everything in.
Yeah.
Like they say, just take that moment in because like it goes so quick, man. But all I'm thinking about, is enjoying my moment and hoping that I don't mess up and I don't look like an idiot out there.
Right.
No, because I still like any match. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I still get those butterflies. I still get that feeling in my gut to like where not even have to throw it, but it's just like that excitement. Like like I want to be good. I want this to be good. I just want people to like it, and
Yeah.
not just me. Like I want to do great for me, but I also want to do great for our fans that are watching. So
Are you a harsh critic on your own stuff? Do you watch your stuff back?
I really am. I'm probably the worst. I know people say that all the time, but I feel like I am one of the worst people to critique my match
Yeah.
because I hate watching my stuff back because everybody says how good it is, but then when I watch it back and I'm like, that shit sucked. That looked bad. And it's just random stuff that like that you want to be good, like you want stuff to be good, and
Sure.
it's just I don't know. I'm just really hard on myself when it comes to my stuff in the ring because I just want it to be perfection, and
Well, you're
that's
Mr.
what we.
Excellence, so that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking
Yeah,
for excellence.
I mean, Mr. Perfect. That's the guy that I idolize. So
Yeah.
like
Kurt Hennig
that's the
fans, maybe?
guy. Kurt Hennig, man, like that would be like a dream match. That would be like a bucket list match if he was still living. Because that dude, like when he came back to the Rumble, whew, he was looking amazing. I don't
Yeah,
know if you remember that or not,
I do.
but
I
man,
do.
gosh, man, he
You know
just
what I remember more of Mr. Perfect was not his matches were great, right? The fisherman suit. It was a fisherman suplex, right? That was his finisher.
yep, the
Uh,
perfect plex.
Perfect plex, but the
Yep.
promos.
Oh yeah,
throwing the
for sure,
football and
man.
then catching his own football, or the gum. I never saw him miss the gum ever.
Well, those all those skits were like legit. Like he did those in one take.
I
They
believe it.
they they
He's
were,
Mr.
man. He
Perfect.
was legit. He was just perfect at legit everything. So that's just a guy that like I've idolized forever. Like I don't know. I feel like he should have been he should have been the WWE World Champion. Like I
Sure.
think he was that good. Like the Intercontinental title was great, but like I could see him as a world champion.
If you look at some of these guys now, um, Perfect, and they made Perfect back then. That's how stacked those rosters were. Perfect was a mid carder.
Yep.
He was a mid carder. I
You look at him
You
now
put him
today.
now,
Now he'd be a champion for
he'd be a
sure.
champion. He'd be a
Yep.
champion. He'd probably be the longest reigning champion if you ask me. I mean, he was a different cat. He definitely was a different cat. So
His luscious locks. Come on, man. When he
oh
got those
bro,
wet, whew,
bro. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
and the tan, man. Whew.
oh,
I mean, he could rock a singlet too, man. A lot of people can't do that either.
have you ever paid homage to any wrestlers? Like, I know you're a Perfect fan. Have you ever paid homage by different gear or wearing gear like them?
No, but I actually I kind of like I stole the Perfect Plex and I named it the Plexilence.
I love it. I
No,
love it.
but like none of my gear is really homaged. Any of the wrestlers or anything like that. But
I feel like you see a lot of that now. A lot of people are doing different gear, Bret Hart oriented, or Hogan oriented, or just guys that they want to, guys that were huge back in the day that a lot of the younger wrestlers now look up to. That you see a lot of that.
well,
Swerve is one
Swerve,
right
yep.
now. Yeah,
You could talk about Velveteen Dream.
absolutely.
He would always do his tights would always have the face of his opponent
Yeah,
or
he was
whatever.
definitely
Just
like a
Rick Rude.
ravishing Rick Rude fan for sure. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, for sure.
So let's get into the Wild Samoans. They were pretty big impact on you.
Yeah, so I was probably 19 at the time, and I actually had the opportunity to be in the ring with Samu, one of the head shrinkers, and he always came down from Pennsylvania to the West Virginia, the Maryland, to do all John Rambo shows. So I think it was Troubadour Lounge in West Virginia. I can't remember where that exactly is, but I remember we did a tag match, me and my tag partner at the time, the Killer Studs, we were called.
Who was your tag partner? Oh, Uber's.
Houston,
Okay, yeah, Gooston.
yeah,
Okay,
you
okay,
remember?
okay.
You remember?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we did a match with Rambo and Samu, and I remember I was 120 pounds soaking wet,
How were those
still
kicks?
brutal. But no, Sam, I was wearing the Under Armour, baggy pants, 120 pounds soaking wet,
Yeah.
wrestling Samu that's 350 pounds and just moves like a cruiserweight and kicks you in the face with
Yeah.
every kick you can get. I mean, Rambo did that too, but
Yeah,
no, it
he
was
took
just
my head
cool.
off one time.
No, it was just cool to be in there, with a legend of his stature. That whole family. I'm just blessed, to know. And but after that match, I just remember Samu, like he was just like super impressed with me, which at the time, like I was just like so giddy, like oh my gosh, like Samu like likes me, like da 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 da. I'm
Bro,
like
that's
oh my
exactly how I
gosh,
feel with you. That's exactly.
stop, man.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I remember he was like, I want you to come up to WXW in Allentown, WXW C4, because Pops had moved already to Florida,
Yeah.
and started WXW down there. So Sam was running Allentown at the time, and I remember Sam wrote his email address down on this Manila envelope, just like yesterday. I remember it. He wrote down the great Samu at AOL.com. He was like, just send me an email when you want to come up, and I was just like, my mind was just blown. Like, dude, what does he see in me? Like I'm like this like 120-pound kid soaking wet. Like, why does he want me to come up? Like, and just from that moment forward, I've always been super close with Sam. I'd go up, monthly to his shows, and I was very blessed, by the NY family that they took a liking to me, and I was able to be a part of the Wild Samoan Cup a couple times with my tag partner, and then with Bo Nakota in Florida, went down with Pops, and just able just to be a part of that because that family's is huge, huge in wrestling. It's probably one of the biggest, and they're everyone in that family is just super talented. And I'm surprised, that Lance hasn't been signed yet, and he deserves it so much too. So
Every time I see Lance, wherever it is, he's getting bigger and bigger.
yeah, he's
Like, he's
actually
putting
gotten
on
him.
some size.
Well, he's actually got himself in really good shape. Because like if you look at us back in the day, if you look at the House of Pain match we had back in the day, he came down to defend his hybrid title, the WXWC4, and we were just like these two kids that were like not even over 150 pounds. But no, I mean he's put in the work. He looks great. He's put on the size,
Is
But
he still with
hopefully,
MLW?
I don't think he is actually. I'm not quite sure. I can't speak on that, but I don't think he is.
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong. I don't know. He just deserves it, man. He's putting the work, and he should be a part. He should be a part of that. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, sky's the limit for this bloodline story. Right? I mean, there's a million of this family, right? Anybody could come in at any moment.
yeah,
Hikalea, they just signed and everything. So you just never know. I mean, if we get a Lance on the main roster, bro, this area is going to go off.
yeah. I
They're
mean,
going to pop.
I feel like it's time for that to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So, but you never know how things are gonna work. Hopefully, it works in his favor, and hopefully, sometime it will be his time to shine, man.
Yeah. Big loss this last week with Pops passing away and everything. So
Yeah.
I know they were real influential on you.
Yeah, I mean, Pop's a great person. He treated you just like family. You're like if you wrestled on his show, you were one of his kids, no matter what. Even if you didn't train with him, like you were his kid, and like it was cool just to be like just to hear like just everything he would talk about. It was just like son this, son that, but like
Yeah.
just the whole family's great. So just blessed to you got it on right now,
I see
representing
that.
the Wild Simone School. Yeah.
I see that.
So,
I see that. I see that.
yeah.
So you've accomplished so much. You were there. Tell me about Virginia Championship Wrestling. You're still wrestling there a pretty good bit.
Yeah, man. So Virginia Championship Wrestling been around a long time. Just to go back, I remember when they came to my area, to the college around here, Bridgewater College. I had no idea what VCW was at the time. I just knew it was, an organization that was coming to wrestle around here. And like, anytime any independent wrestling came around or any wrestling came around, my dad would always like take me. So we ended up, we went to the show, VCW, and got to meet a bunch of people. Got to see Bobby Eaton. Whew, Bobby Eaton was so good, man.
Hell of a
So
worker.
good.
Hell of a worker.
The leg drop from the top rope
How do you
to the
think
punch.
his that he did that move for 30 years, right? Before was there any? I mean, it did never ever seemed like there was any let up with that guy. And he did
No,
that.
man.
That move is tough.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I would not recommend doing it because I'd actually want to save my butt and my hip and all that. We already take enough, beating. So, but he just made it look. If I could make it look that good, I'd probably do it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, but VCW been around a long time.
Longest
And
heavyweight champion in VCW history.
yeah, and I came in there. I think it was around 2011 because I was really good friends. Like when I was a kid, I would always be like messaging like the owner of VCW, Travis. I'd be like, when you guys coming back? Blah 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 blah. I was all on social media, but it was more of like the AOL Messenger or whatever it is. So, but I would always be like just trying to like find out when they're coming back and like whatever. But then years later, I'm wrestling for VCW, and it's just crazy how like everything becomes like a like the full circle,
Yeah,
man. And
what is that moment like? Does that compare with standing in front of 15,000 people or coming back to the place and winning the title of where you basically where it all started?
yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say that's where it all started, but like that's one of the I don't know, man. It's crazy to me to even think that like I held the VCW champion, let alone like one of the longest reigning VCW heavyweight champions of all time. It's just
How long did you hold it?
like over 600 days.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't want to give it up after that, man. I should have just retired as champion.
You should have. Yeah,
Um,
you're just counting days after that.
yeah, it was just crazy because like so many of
Sorry,
the guys.
Travis, I'm not going to make the next two shows. Just
No,
couldn't
but
add
like,
60 days onto there.
but honestly, like it's crazy because like the main event match of that VCW show was like Dirty Money and Phil Brown and oh gosh, why can I not remember the name? I cannot remember the third guy that was in the match. But it was a triple threat, and I just remember, Dirty and Phil. They just stood out to me, and like, you know, years later, I'm best friends like with both of them, and it's just it's crazy to me, and like it's such a sad situation on Dirty Money too, man. That really broke my that destroyed me, man. I didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming. It's just a shocker. Such a good dude, such a good worker. I had some of my best matches with him, so I'm just thankful, of the friendship that we've had, or we had, I should say.
I didn't know Dirty Money. I only heard his name in passing. I know it really hit a lot of guys hard from that Virginia area.
Yeah, man. I mean, he'd been around a long time. He was established. He was at OVW. He did a lot, man. And like he was such a great worker in phenomenal shape for being a 50, like for being 50, dude. Like, come on, man. And he could work circles around
Wait a
most of
minute.
these guys.
Wait, that guy was 50?
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned that your dad was the one who was taking you to these wrestling matches when you were younger. Let's talk about that. Your dad is like he's
He's a
still going
legend.
to he is a
He's a
legend.
legend, dude.
He's a
He's
legend.
more over than me, bro.
I believe that. I you should be selling his shirts, honestly.
Dude, I think if I sold his shirts, I would sell out every freaking show.
I looked on Pro
That
Wrestling
might be a good
Tees. By the
idea.
way, if you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, you can pick up Brandon's shirt. There's like 6 or 7 shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. You need a what would his shirt be? What would you have on there?
I don't know. Um,
Sir Excellence.
no, it'd probably be something like more like I'm more over than my son or some shit.
Yeah. So, how many times do guys, when they go to shake hands, they skip you first, and they go right to your dad, and then they go to you?
Oh, probably a lot. They probably enjoy. Like, I'm not even lying. I bet you the locker room love seeing him more than they love seeing me. Like Shane Douglas, like the first thing out of Shane's mouth is like, "Where's your dad? Is he here? Is he okay?" I'm like, "What about me, dude?"
Hey, we're in a match together.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I mean, but just to talk about him, like, he's the one who got me into wrestling, took me to my first wrestling show. I think I was about 4 when he took me to my first, and it was a WCW show. And
Oh wow.
they actually came to the high school that I went to school at. They would come. This was like late '80s up into the early '90s and like '93, '94 until they started getting too big to actually do their shows there. But they always came and did like little house shows there. But I just remember falling in love with professional wrestling. And that's the only thing I ever talked about. The only thing I ever wanted to do. I think I had stitches probably like 10 to 12 times as a kid, just from jumping off of everything. Because I had the wrestling buddies, the Warrior, the Hulk Hogan. I had all those, the Macho Man. So, but yeah, Dad has been such a huge supporter of mine, and I'm super thankful that I have a parent like him that is so supportive of my dream, and just even wanting to be there to watch every single show. Um, we would always we'd always drive together. He would take me to all the independent shows that I wanted to go to. I'd be looking everything up on the internet, of course, because that's how you found everything. So you look up these shows and see where they're going to be, and that's how I found out about the House of Pain. And I noticed that it was going to be in Martinsburg, which was my first show for the House of Pain at the Apollo Theater.
Okay.
And I remember the show was that Saturday, and I ended up calling. I think it was like midnight, 11 o'clock midnight. I called the number that was on the website to reserve tickets, and I just remember this person answering, "Hello," and I at the time I didn't know who it was. Like they had this deep voice, and I wanted to reserve tickets, and I find out that it's John Rambo's number that I'm actually calling to reserve tickets for.
He's probably watching a Flyers game or something.
Right. No, and then that Saturday I actually printed out because I didn't know how to get to Martinsburg, so I printed out the MapQuest directions, MapQuest it forward and backwards, so I knew how to get back, even though it was a straight shot. But at the time, I wasn't aware. My dad knows nothing really about the internet or direction wise, so I was like, we got to print these out, and he'll drive, and I'll just tell him where to turn.
That's how it was back in the day. You didn't have phones. You had to, if you didn't have an atlas, right? And I'm that old. If you had an atlas or a big map, you had to print out MapQuest, and you're praying that you had the right directions.
Yeah, so we went to the show, loved it. I couldn't wait for the next one, and I just kept looking on the site, and I'd see them in Pennsylvania. They had their free Tuesday night and Saturday night shows. So we started going to those just all the time. We were
What
going.
year was that? What year was that?
Probably from 2002 until 05.
Gotcha.
So but in 05 I actually won. They did a raffle for a special guest referee, and I put I don't know, I put a lot of money in just so I could win it.
Sure.
And they ended up drawing my ticket, thank gosh, and I got to be a special guest referee for one of the matches. And I just I knew this is what I wanted to do, but I didn't know at the time how to get into it or what I needed to do. So, but at that age I was kind of all right, this is what I want to do. So I'd email Rambo, be like, hey, do you need a ref for tonight? Da 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 da. And Rambo would be like, all right, we can maybe get you in for another match or two. Even though I wasn't even a part of the business at all then. I guess he was just being super nice because we'd always come to shows and everything.
Sure.
But then I kept doing that, and Rambo would be like, finally, hey, you need to just sign up. You need to sign and start training. And at that time, I told my dad that's what I wanted to do. And I was still underage at the time. I was 17, and he signed the contract for me. And the rest is history. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yep.
And I was signed up as a referee though.
So I signed up as a ref.
Okay.
Because at the time I was 120 pounds soaking wet.
Was DiMuggio still there?
I think he was on the way out when so he was there when I started going there, but
Sure.
he left between all that when Jake Davis and Leslie Leatherman, all those guys were leaving at the time. But no, I signed up as a ref. I did that for a little over a year, and it's not really what I wanted to do at the time because I always wanted to wrestle. So I was still taking bumps and stuff, at training and all that, because I was a small guy that could just toss me around and be like, hey, can I try this on you? Hey, can I try this move on you? Okay. Yeah, you can slam me on the concrete. I don't care. No, but that, I was just kind of and I was able to take bumps and I took them well. So people always wanted to try stuff on me. And I remember we did a 3-day weekend, and one of the female wrestlers didn't show up. It was a Sunday show. So they needed someone to, wrestle Ferrari, which she's married to Mark Mandrake. I don't know if you remember those two names or not, but
Mandrake sounds familiar. Ferrari
Yeah,
does not.
yeah. So they're married. But they did a bunch of hardcore matches with like with Chucky and all that. But uh. Anyways, they didn't have an opponent for her, and like Rambo looked over at me and he's like, "You want to wrestle tonight?" And like me, I was like, "Ah, yeah, I want to wrestle." Like like I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it." Yeah. So, and then he tells me what I'm gonna be doing. He's like, "You're gonna be wrestling, Ferrari, and you're gonna be wearing a mask because we can't have male versus female.
Sure.
In Maryland, you couldn't do that back in the day. And but I remember he's like, you're gonna be called the Amazing Pat. Do you remember the movie Pat,
Yes.
where you don't know if it's
And
female or male?
her significant other's name was Chris.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I just remember I remember putting the mask on and doing the match, and I wish I wish it was somewhere on film. I hope it is somewhere on film that I can actually watch one day because I know it'd have to be terrible.
Well,
Sorry, Ferrari.
who owns that tape library now?
I mean, I do, but like it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have anything up after the VHS. It's like it stops. It's from '95 until about I think 2002, 2003, I believe.
I need. Here's what I need from you. I had a hair versus championship match. I think it was it Leslie Leatherman?
Do you
I
realize how long it's going to take me to search? I mean, I have them in order, but you have to know when it was. You have to know the exact date.
fuck, bro. I have no idea. I
Because
just know
I
that.
ain't going to sit there and watch every tape. I mean, I've been watching some of the tapes and like, man, it's just crazy.
Well,
Crazy.
I'll come get the whole year of '99 from you, and I'll just. Oh, I don't even have a VHS. Are they on VHS or the
They're on
DVD?
VHS, yes.
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's always like, why don't you switch them over? Like, I just, like, I don't have time to do all that. I have them all, like, actually, Trimmer helped me line them up from start to finish,
Yeah.
from beginning to end. There might be some in between that's like mixed up, but like it's like 2 containers worth, 2 of those big containers
Yeah.
of just VHS tapes. So,
Yeah. I was in five different matches. I didn't do anything with the Battle Royals because everybody was in Battle Royals.
what year were you there?
99.
Oh, no wonder you didn't last.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, they probably whipped your ass.
So I enjoyed wrestling. I enjoyed it. I wanted to be a wrestler too. Now, honestly, my getting hurt and then I just didn't come to practice because I was injured and I had to work too. So, and then my wife got pregnant and she was very upset when I would leave the house at 6 o'clock at night to go to training or the shows or whatever. But it was very much a part of my life for like a straight 8 months. And then I
Are you
off and
guys
on
still
for
together?
no.
See, she wasn't the one,
She
dude.
wasn't worth it. John, I'm sorry.
She wasn't the one, dude. Like
She-
any person that says you can't do that, they're not your supporter.
well,
Come on,
listen,
bro.
I know now.
You got to
Right?
find you one like Amanda.
I really, she's great too. Actually,
She is. She's amazing.
I was giving her, amazing Amanda and excellent Brandon. How do we not do a tag team?
We actually met at the school. Did you know that?
No, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
So she came to one of the shows. Not to go off topic, but she
Sure,
came
no,
to
you're
one of
good.
the.
You're good. You're
She
good.
she came to one of the shows because one of her friends at the time, boyfriend, wrestled at the school,
Who was that?
and Jay Baller. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember the name.
So she brought Amanda, and like at that time, looking at the crowd, I'm not trying to be mean, but like she was the best looking one there. So I was just like, I need to know who she is. I need to know who she is. Like, tell me who she is. Like, find out who your friend is. So and the rest is history from there. So
Yeah, no, you're when you find somebody, and we're off topic now, but when you find somebody, you need to make sure that they're your biggest fan, right? So again, young, right? Young. What I was getting at
I mean,
was
they don't even have to be your biggest fan as long as they're supportive of your dream, man. Like for real, they don't even have to like it. you know, because
Sure.
Amanda likes wrestling, but there's sometimes she doesn't like it either. So, but she always like tells me to do it, you know, like she's never like, you can't do that, you can't
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
you can't do that show. Like
Well, you
if I want to be booked, I'm gonna be booked, you know.
well, you definitely live and you learn, that's for sure. Because I
Yep.
had bought 6 tapes from John. I think they were $20 a piece at the time, or I want to say, and they're all gone. Like I don't know where they're at. She threw them away or whatever. So that's why I was like, I need those tapes. I need those tapes. But anyway, so uh, threw myself off here. So you've wrestled a lot of guys. You wrestled Cardona. That was the big one, right? I was like super excited for you to wrestle Cardona. Um, give me one of your favorites, and then give me somebody that's on your bucket list that you need before you finish wrestling, before you get out of it, that you got to wrestle.
Mm, it's hard, man. So, you know, this is gonna sound kind of weird. No, it's not gonna sound weird, but like in high school, I was a huge fan of Carlito. I loved Carlito.
Okay,
I don't know. It's just like
that's cool, man.
I wanted him to be champion so bad. I was always so mad that how they always like dissed him. I felt like his character was good, his promos were good, he looked good in the ring. When he beat John Cena for the United States title on his like debut on SmackDown, I believe it was.
Yeah,
And then man, I was a huge fan of him. I had all his T-shirts in high school, and like I at the time I didn't really wear them to school just because, you know, I felt like wearing them to school, like people looked at you
sure.
differently, like, oh, you like that wrestling stuff, you like that you know, just like in school I felt like people just didn't appreciate like if you like stuff like that. It was always just more football, baseball, all
Right.
that, or real, you know, sports. And but I was a huge, like, I love Carlito, and I've actually gotten to be in the ring with him 4 times. 4 times.
Wow.
It just it blows my mind each time thinking about it. And you know what? I have 4 wins over Carlito. He's never beaten me. No, but like super cool dude. Love Carlito. Just it's unbelievable just how, you know, how good he is, like, and how much he gives you in the ring. Like, he's a good dude, real good dude. Can't say enough good things about him. And yeah, I've just been in the ring with so many legends, so many people that I didn't even think I'd be in the ring with. I was in the ring with Jimmy Superfly Snuka at the age of 19. Tito Santana, come on, man.
Right.
Like that just blows my mind. Like, cause I was still like I was super green. Like I didn't even deserve to be in the ring with people like that,
Right.
with legends like that. So,
That's crazy. Now, who's on your bucket list that you'd like to get knocked off?
man,
Was this the first time you wrestled Shane at Voltage? That was the first
so
time?
I've always been in tag matches with Shane. So like I'm still waiting on that singles
Oh
match.
yeah,
It's just
I
that
thought it was originally supposed to be a singles
it
match, right?
was, it was, but I think Shane was having some issues, you know, some health issues, you know, not 100%.
Gotcha.
But hopefully, you know, later we'll get to do that. Like that definitely is definitely a bucket list match of mine that I want to get, you know. But let me see, man. Trying to think, who do I really? A name that always like comes to mind for me would be Matt Hardy.
Okay.
Like I've always, you know, I've gotten a tag with Matt Hardy. Always been on the same side as him, but like just getting a singles match with Matt, I think they're both great dudes. Like, oh my, like two of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. That they never change, no matter how, no matter where they've been, how famous they are. They're just two really good dudes. But Matt has definitely been on my bucket list for a long time. Other guys, like I would have loved to had a match with Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was like a bucket list guy of mine, even though I know like he probably won't be in the ring anymore.
I think he's officially retired. health reasons. So
Yeah, we were trying to get that at VCW at one time, and I thought it was going to work out, and it didn't work at the time. Didn't line up. The dates didn't line up, or whatever it was. Another match, another bucket list, like, would be Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler. I think we would have a hell of a match. I think he's sorry, he's just
no, you're
fantastic.
good.
He's so
Press
good,
away,
man.
bro.
He's just so good. Like, everything he does is,
He's a bump machine too.
yeah, yeah. I I don't know. He's a good dude too. Like, he's always one of the guys. The one every time we were at WWE, he was one of the guys who would always speak to all the extras, shook our hands, like, just made us feel good. Made us feel comfortable.
Sure.
Being there. And he was one of the guys who would always watch our matches. He would sit around the ring, watch our matches, give us critiques. But just a good dude too. So.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this up here. First, Brandon, thank you so much. This was awesome. This is something again I've wanted to do for a while, and I did interview Ivar the Micro, and that interview was short.
Oh, is that the micro midget, right?
Yes,
The micro wrestling. Oh man, I just saw them not too long ago. They were here locally, which was pretty cool. So I didn't know. I didn't. No, in Virginia. So
okay.
I'm in Virginia. So
okay.
They were in Stanton, Virginia. But like, I just remember he came out and like he couldn't do anything in the ring, but he did sing. He sang like 3 songs. Yeah,
he's an amazing singer, right?
Yeah,
He's a great performer.
Yeah, he's cool, very cool. But all those guys are great too. Not to cut you off, but like, they're super talented, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've known do you know Mario from there? The one that plays Mario?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's really good, man. He's gotten so good over the years, and I got to meet him when Dick was doing all the micro midget shows in Martinsburg at the time. So.
Oh, okay, very cool. Well, give when you leave this business, which you probably got another 40, 50 years, right? When you leave this business, how do you want to leave it? What do you want your legacy to be?
I just want it to be. I want people to, that if they ever, dream or think about, wanting to be in the business, that they are. They're able to do it, because look at me, I've been doing this 19 years. I've had so many opportunities. I've been blessed, I've gotten to travel, all over the US for this. And, I've been even a part of a pro wrestling rock musical. Like,
that's so crazy.
What in the world? Yeah. Like, no, it's just crazy to me. Like, I just want people to know that, I respect this business so much. I love this business so much. And if I didn't leave anything, I'm sorry, but hopefully I left something for you guys, and like, that my legacy just speaks for itself.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, thank you very much. We're gonna. I have so much on this list that I want to go over, but we're gonna do this again sometime. Probably mid-season when the Raiders are 6-0 or 8-0. We'll get you back on here. You'll be super fired up. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun. Like I said, I don't do a lot of these because I feel like you repeat so much of the same stuff over and over. And, once you've watched one, you might have watched them all. But, like, hopefully maybe this will get you some views. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry.
I don't care about views, bro. I don't care about that kind of stuff.
Don't hate me that I'm not that over Jonathan Cross.
Well, I mean, if you start, listen, here's what I'm going to do, right? And I know Kurt Hennig never gave you permission to use a perfect plex, but I am giving you permission to wear the fur coat.
Oh, the fur coat? Nah, I don't think I can do that, dude. Bro.
Not in June. Not in July. Wait till November, December, wear the fur jacket. It's fine.
No, but this is fun. I really appreciate it. All the questions. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you got a little bit of. Hopefully you got some knowledge of me now. since you didn't have any
I
before.
had zero knowledge of you. All I knew
Dude,
was like his eyes are dreamy. That's all I knew.
Bro. I don't have anything to say to you for not knowing any knowledge. Come on, bro. You got to do the research. When you want me on the podcast, you got to do your research.
So here's what I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch some of Brandon's matches over the last week and a half or whatever. I was watching matches. They were all terrible. And I was like, okay, well, maybe the rock ballet or whatever thing you were doing is going to be on. And no, it's not you. It's Cardona. Like, you're not even online for that. So, I mean,
The
maybe
last match?
you
Come
need
on,
to
get it right, dude.
you need to
Last
get
match.
It should have been the last match. It's not, but it should have been. You need to do a better job of uploading material.
Dude, I have so much material
You
uploaded.
really do. I was here in your MCW.
Oh my gosh, have you seen my YouTube channel? Like, I don't upload so much on my YouTube channel anymore just because everybody uploads everything already. And then when they do that, I do steal it and put it on my channel if I like the match. If I don't, then I don't.
Yeah, I watched the last one I watched this afternoon was the one with Enzo.
Oh shoot, okay, yeah. Whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
No, I thought Enzo
I've never seen Enzo, and Enzo was always a smaller guy in wrestling, but he's press slamming a guy over his head over the rope.
Well, you know, when he gave me the razor's edge into the post.
Yes.
Like, he actually hurt his bicep on that because the steps were right there, and he didn't realize the steps were there because usually he just kind of launches the guy. But, like, he protected me really well, and he ended up, messing his bicep up really bad then. So
you killed Enzo's career is what you're saying.
No, I didn't do it. No, he's okay now, though.
He's good.
Yeah. Oh, well, a match you're going to have to watch.
Yes.
You got to watch my NWA match with Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
I did not even see that.
How did you not know that, dude?
I have no idea.
I had a match with Nick Aldis. It was so good that he offered me a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. And I was on an episode of the 10 Pounds of Gold.
Oh, okay. Well,
see?
There you go right now. So I'll get you to send me that link. When I post this, I will put the link down below. You guys can watch it at home and you can watch and you tell me how bad Brandon is at wrestling.
I mean, when I watch it back, it's pretty bad. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just don't like watching my stuff back, but like, I definitely got some props, and Nick Aldis is a great guy too. So, but let's end it here. I know you got to go. You got stuff to do.
I do, but let me ask you this: why do you think Nick Aldis is wrestling?
Why?
Yeah,
because he has a great job.
Well, I know he's got a great job, but
I mean, if
you're a wrestler, bro, you're a wrestler. Isn't that what you want to do?
Yeah, for sure. But if WWE calls and it's like, "Hey, we got this for you. Hey, we got a rough job for you. Hey, we got a manager's job for you," I'm taking it.
Okay.
I'm taking it, man, because that's where I want to be. That's the dream, man. I've done so much stuff in wrestling. I've been a part of this business for so long. If it has to be, me signing a contract to be a referee or manager or agent, whatever it is, like, I'll do it, man, because I just want to be a part of the business that I love, dude, and I want to be able to make money at doing what I love. So,
right on. Where are you at next? Then we'll
where am I at? Next show is the Bruiser Memorial Show, Bruiser Strong Show, September, is it 13th? Is that a Saturday? September 13th? Does that sound right?
Possibly.
September 3rd? September 13th?
I'm just a dumb manager.
September 13th, is that Saturday?
It is September 14th is a Saturday.
September 14th, Joppa, Maryland, MCW. We honor the Bruiser Strong. So get there. That's a great show. You don't want to miss. Great event. Great venue. Not a bad seat in the house. And if you've never been to an MCW show, you definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. We'll put that link down below too, so everybody can get tickets to that and go see Brandon. Thank you again, man.
Hey, thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, later.
See ya.